And we are back with some more broken sword. Well, I guess this is all starting to make sense that, we had to break that for the pumps to not work and yada yada. Alright. Really has to be one of my favorite genres. I love point and clicks and JRPGs. The two genres that just so much fun. And bingo bango. Ew. I don't think water should be black.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Now, can we take it
I
out?
eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
And bam.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
Oh, that's what the flashlight's for. Oh. That evening, back in Paris. Oh. Looks like I am her again.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Niko. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Niko, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And
No kidding.
I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Niko. Slonsha. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening.
Oh.
He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
She's dead.
Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I better get over there and mourn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die. I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Spoilers, it's probably too late. Or she'll completely
The
ignore
intercom
us.
system wasn't working. Bad sign. Somebody had cut the wire.
Yeah.
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that.
Time to start climbing. Right? You could try and pick up the pace a little bit. Someone's life is in danger. What are you doing?
I unhooked the first wire.
Oh. I didn't realize those were wires holding it in.
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
Can I just push it?
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything. That broken window looked like the best way in.
Oh, sorry, I have to click that.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
Do I have anything that... I mean, I have elephant tusk.
No.
Do I have?
No.
Alright, cut it?
No.
This bullet casing. It does all kinds of crazy things, apparently even good enough to cut. Back in the mansion. I don't like this.
My God, I'm too late.
Well, now you're going to be a fugitive from the police.
Imelda. Oh no.
Niko?
Don't worry, you're going to be alright.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Niko.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why? Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace. I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key.
Whoop!
I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Good thing that your fingerprints aren't all frickin' over the necklace around her neck. It's open. Oh, God. Oh, God.
There wasn't anyone that I needed to call.
What are you writing? I guess nothing.
It was a photograph of my father. The first one I ever took. They hadn't...
Yeah, we saw... I just want to make sure there's nothing else new in this apartment. No messages. Oh, wait. Wasn't there something about a small box in that chest?
My first teddy. Undisturbed.
Why do I remember there being a chest or something? Unfortunately, it's generally a few days, like, between sessions. Isn't there a box in here?
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. Oh, chère cousine. You left me a little present. You shouldn't have.
Did I really just take a bug? That is a massively large bug. Oh, listening to you bug. Right, not a...
You don't scare me. Espèce de...
You did, like, smash it and break it and shit, right?
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
Oh, but it does have a key. This little key.
The box was one of the
Yeah.
elephant... I took out the key. couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Oh.
It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box.
She's with him.
I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father.
There was a
There
note
was a
there,
letter.
too. Yeah.
I feared there was even worse to come. Hotel St. Georges, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for. Or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No. They'll just give you a funny job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
Except maybe George later, because we're going to have to advance the plot at some point, right? Cool, though. Uh-oh. Sneeze. Sorry about that. The next morning.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead.
And you think Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templar's gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Let's take another look at the manuscript. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
Yeah, that doesn't really... No hanged man or... Did we have to look at everything?
A night through.
What are your plans?
I want to find all of. Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
That's horrible to say.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for
Yeah,
Lobinot at
Lobinot
the
was where I was
Kron
gonna head
Museum.
to.
And why don't you see if Rousseau has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Who was Rosso? Was that the police? I think it was.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
I assume I'm taking over as George now. Yeah. I think... this was Rousseau, right? I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic. In the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur?
I'm the victim.
Could you just...
Their name...
Bon.
Alright.
See you later, Sergeant.
Was... God, why do I not remember Rousseau at all? But I did at least get some information. And there's no one I have to call. What the fuck was Rousseau? Let's just check the cafe again and... you know what? No. I'll come back to it if it's anything relevant. The Hôpital. Let's go to the museum first.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
I actually...
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir.
The sign on the truck.
It does?
Yeah.
Most.
You don't know anything.
No, I don't. I owe what little it was, and he taught me the bottom row.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
Oh, this is new, isn't it?
No, I never thought of that. Do you think? If I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on. Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous.
Didn't we
That
talk to him?
tripod?
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of this.
Yeah, the
Don't you?
Houdini.
Well,
What kind of experiments did John...
Oh,
Yeah. Can I...
what? That
House of...
a painful.
How is the...
By the slight.
It's...
It.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. It is the uniform I get.
And they ask...
Yeah, we...
They ask me. They ask.
Whereas you...
Of course not. Not like me.
So why can't I talk to Lobino? Like, before he was an option.
Thanks for your help.
Alright, I mean, clearly at some point I have to get that thing, but... Let's go to the hospital first. It's something to at least look at. One thing I really like to do in point and clicks, and those who have watched...
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door. Like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand, and pulled. The door was locked.
I like to not spend too much time in any one area. Alright, we got a few folks to talk to, and 2 different halls to go through. Okay.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Aha.
Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
No.
Certainly not.
Look at this, Doc. It's a genuine medieval type gemstone.
Yes, so I see. Remarkable.
I have to take this gem to Marquet. He might be able to explain its significance.
My dear chap, Marquet has other things on his mind right now.
Like what?
His catheter, for one.
So he was involved in something pretty big.
Thanks for your help. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here.
That's what I thought.
Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
Alright, well, yeah, I should finish talking with her.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
Alright.
Thanks for your help,
man.
You're welcome.
As always, thanks for watching. Tune in the next. Thanks for watching, everybody.